Showtime! Welcome to the streaming people. We have Janub, of course, as our co-host tonight, but we also have a couple of very special guests tonight. We have Joachim, who's our most recent champion, who is going to celebrate tonight with us.
Yeah.
And we have one of his challengers, Mr. Rimantas Sagatas, who is a champion himself too. Hey there. Joachim is already a known character here in the streaming because he was in the streaming before. But we are having Rimantas for the first time. Are you guys happy to be here today?
Yes,
we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So far, so good.
You're unsure. I'm happy or not. I promise I'll treat you well. I don't know, Jan. I cannot say if Jan is going to treat you well.
We'll see. You'll be the nice host, and Jan will make the mean questions.
Yes, I'm going to try to be nice, and then we'll see what happens with the tricky questions that Janu has prepared for tonight.
I have not prepared, but maybe we can
I'm
come up with
joking.
Some uncomfortable questions spontaneously.
Okay, I see that was a nice first slip.
They're forcing. That was very nice.
Maybe.
Saving energy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was missing force to front very much this season.
Yeah, me too.
Well, you're in
the
lead.
Yeah.
Well, can you enroll the standings in the race so that, like in the top right corner, then
standings is this one.
So you're friends with everyone except Juk?
That's revealing, Flo.
I'm not friends with Jan.
I'm not
friends with Jan.
I didn't even look that far down.
But I get on well with most people. The problem I have is I don't have any more slots for adding friends, you know? There's a cap of 150.
Like
no, 150. If I had 500, I would be okay.
Well, I'm like top 500, but not top 150.
I have most of the oldest guys here. I don't know, but for example, now that you mentioned this, it's very curious because I added Joachim as a friend when he was a rookie. Because I got interested in the campaign he was making, and I said, this guy is one to follow, and I added him to the friends list to follow him. What?
Hello.
My children want to say hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey there.
Okay, bye. No,
all Joachim's family.
They are mocking me that I play such a stupid and boring game.
Why? But they have to take you seriously. You're the champion.
Yeah, I say that.
How can you not take the champion seriously? Come on.
Outside of G-Pro, it's always hard to get respect.
It's hard to explain what is exciting about this game.
And if you tell people that you play it for like 15 years,
that's even more.
That's impressive. Yes, I was checking I was making some note. I don't remember exactly what, but I was checking your manager ID, Agas, and I noticed that it's 4 digits only. I said, "Whoa, he has been playing forever." When I was a very young manager, Agas was winning championships.
Who was winning?
I was saying that when I was a very young manager, you were winning championships.
Oh, okay,
I'm still in shock. I'm still in shock from the times the time that you decided to relegate from elite.
It was that or retirement from the game.
No, I was completely in shock because you had mathematically you had chances to be champion, and I remember that you, of course, used negative balance to upgrade your car, and that if you won the championship, you will retain and stay at elite. But if you didn't win and didn't get the prizes, you will relegate.
Yeah, that was a big stake, big risk, which didn't pay off at the end. but yeah, that was the intended decision to go all in.
It was intended. I recall it as being intended, yes. But do you regret that maneuver?
No.
Not at all.
After that, I had a lot of fun in these lower leagues.
Wow.
I don't regret it because
humiliating newbies. You had fun in the lower leagues humiliating newbies.
No, I had fun developing a driver from amateur because I never did that before, and that was something new that I tried in the
game. How come when you were in the lower leagues yourself, you didn't have that chance in your early seasons?
In the early seasons, my strategy was a bit different. It was pick a more or less prepared driver and push the group I am, then promote and look for a new driver without caring much about development.
Disposable drivers.
Yeah.
Well, I did enjoy the experience of developing a driver, but I understand that Joachim did not enjoy that experience that much because he made a mistake when he was developing his driver to arrive with it to elite.
You mean the reputation?
The reputation driver, yes.
Yeah, we weren't aware how the reputation. At that time in Malati, we didn't know what the reputation does to the salary of a driver, or at least not the details. And yeah, when I promoted from pro, I discovered that my salary would go up. But the driver I had to promote to elite, he was never a driver I would have kept in elite. He was an older guy, and
you didn't plan it to be at least 2 or 3 seasons?
Yeah, maybe a season. But I think he was 34 when I arrived in elite. So, and actually, yeah, the thing is, when I arrived in elite, I was planning to relegate, to make
I remember that.
Yeah, and I made a bid, an opportunistic bid on an old and experienced driver. And I won that bid for a rather small salary, 1.5 million. And then I redid all my planning and stayed in elite. And it worked.
It worked. Well, we want to know a little bit more about that journey that you took, because we had you at the streaming at the point you were just promoted to elite.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We want to know a bit more about what happened after that. How did you redo your plan? Did your teammates help? in some way? Did they?
Yeah. I mean, actually, I think I wrote this in the forum. The nice thing is, I very much relied on what was Jasper and George were doing. They arrived in Elite a few seasons before me, and I could exactly see what expenditure they have, what kind of testing CCP they have. I mean, my account is rather new, and it's my first stint in Elite, so I had no idea what to expect, with what expenses to expect, and so on. And I learned a lot from just studying the seasons of Jasper and George. Yeah. And I.
So the previous team helped. Previous team experience helped. I mean.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah. What we have is we have a forum where we can see the driver, the car, and stuff and facilities of every team member, and you can just, if you want, you can just follow. When did he buy a new engine? You can really replay his season and see how much sponsor money did he get, and what was his expenses, and this helps you get a grasp what is reasonable, what works, and what not. Yeah.
It dried out.
Really? Oh,
yes.
Not unexpected.
Yeah. In lap 6?
Lap 6.
Mm-hmm. I had a chance to win the game if it would
not lap 6, I'm sorry, lap 7.
If it would have stayed wet till lap 37 exactly, I might have a chance to win. Yeah. I mean, actually, this is not such an important race for me, so I'm fine with everything.
Preparing next season push?
Yes, of course, yeah. Yeah, I mean the driver.
Oh, Joachim.
What?
I think that we don't have any Jags pushing next season, so team Joachim.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I give a short summary of what happened after I arrived in Elite, because the championship was then pretty far away. I had a driver, which the driver I signed in Elite, I think was 33 or so, and I kept him 2 seasons and a little more. And
How
then
old was that driver?
33.
33, so he was close to.
Yeah, he was close to finished. But then I was very lucky to find my current driver in season 77, and it's a jewel of a driver. I mean, it's just super good driver, and I was very lucky to sign him. I think Kuba made a bid as well, but he wasn't aware that I would make a bid, and I made the bid the last 5 seconds. That was before the increment, and I could snipe him. And surprisingly, he was fast from the beginning, although he was quite young and not fully developed, of course. But he was fast from the beginning. I think in season 77, I even won a race with him. Yeah, and then I had just a master, the usual thing. I had amassed lots of sponsors from amateur to pro to master. I had three promo sponsors ready to be put on the car. And then it was managing, developing the driver fully and aligning sponsors so that you have the maximum sponsor money available in season 80.
And so you lined up everything.
Yeah, everything.
For the push.
Yeah.
Well, and next season, the driver is what age? 30. My God, it's super young.
What?
Yeah. It's really, but the thing is, I can't. But then the reputation will go through the roof. I mean, that's the same with Jan's driver. I mean, what had your driver after your 3 push seasons? 150 reputation or so?
No, I think he had like 240, 230. In the end, I remember that one guy signed that and realized that can't be extended.
Yeah, you cannot extend. No, yeah.
Well, you can, but
Well, you technically can, but you don't want to.
Yeah. Now this driver is good for one season push, and the season after that, I won't be pushing 3 seasons. I can't do that.
Reputation again.
No, and sponsors. I mean, I have enough
Sponsorships.
sponsors. Yeah, they. I'm consuming them all now.
It's a pity that sponsorships are so hard to get, and we have seen many managers coming from master with some fresh sponsorships and a promotion sponsor doing their thing and pushing for championships not long after the promotion. Not your case. In your case, you waited a bit. You went through 2 different drivers, but we have some managers that have pushed with the driver that they promoted to elite.
Yeah, I know. For me, that was not an option because I mean, I arrived in elite with pretty low untrainables and low testing CCPs, and so I needed these 4 or 5 seasons to improve them.
How much? Well, we are talking to people who have experience at elite and know how much is little CCPs. But tell the audience that might not be aware, what do you call low CCPs? Around how much?
From testing.
From testing, yes, but how many?
If you have a combined testing CCPs of 135 approximately, I feel you are on par with elite. I mean, for now I have more. I have close to 150. This is for a championship. It's a different kettle of fish.
My cat was jealous. She climbed.
Yeah, I think so 45 average is average, and 50 is very good, and 40 is low, and 35 is very low, I would say.
Yeah.
Yes, but if you have something like 40 per character master, it's more than fine.
It's very good, yeah.
It's very
40
good for master.
in elite is too low. And in the first 2 seasons, I felt I had to really, skew the car for a specific track to do good. And after I had 40 across the board on average, I felt that George, for example, he in our team, he isn't the OBP guy. He always has a good car, and if the temps are in his favor, he pushes. But you need to have, on average, a good car to be able to do so.
Sure. A question for Agas, because we are talking about the CCPs that you can have with the current TDs, and it's very different from the years when we had the super TDs, which are not in the market any longer.
That's
how
true.
many CCPs did you reach with those TDs in the old days?
It's hard to tell. It was long ago, but I think I had nearly almost 60 each.
Wow.
At one point.
I remember the last 2, I think there were 2 super TDs that were always signed by Postel and Pavlicek, and they were always going like 3 million for them.
Yes, I did pay myself
Really?
3 million for a TD. Yes.
I mean, nowadays, I think that TDs are also getting. If you want to sign them without bonuses, you're also paying like 2 million for a top TD. So I mean, if you think about it, I think for a super TD, I wouldn't have a problem paying 3-4 million, because if you consider that it brings you like more than half a car level, or maybe 2/3 of a car level, if you want to do that with certain parts, I think it's way more expensive.
I don't know how many CCPs you can maintain these days, 52, 53, 55 per character with the current TDs.
I think 51, 52 after that. I have never seen it higher than 51 average, I think. Maybe my best was between 51 and 52, but after that it's getting really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, similar levels like right now.
So yes, that's over half a level.
And indeed, it is
six, 7 CCPs are half a level. So if we are talking about 7, 8 CCPs,
it is a big advantage actually. And if you consider that once you reach that level, you just need to keep testing and maintain it. So it's kind of a free speed you get because everyone else is also testing. So you are spending the same money, but you already have an advantage. Let's say half car level.
Nico Mondino says that he's got 75 CCPs. That's a bit low for Master, but it's your first season, so it's understandable. When I promoted one season early to Master because we had those new pro groups that were too easy and overscored. And I promoted with close to that. So, but you could have a bit more, Nico.
But in Master, it's still a lot less important. And in Master, you have other ways to improve your package. You can buy more expensive tires and be ahead of everyone else. And in Elite, you can't do that if you want to fight for the title because everyone will be maxing out.
Sure, but we should consider the pack building part of the pack building, and if you are building a pack to promote to Elite, that's definitely a bit low.
For coming to Elite, yes, but for coming to Master, I think it's more than enough.
Yes, I remember. I'm talking about years ago. Matthew Standen, the silly gamers will know who I'm talking about. He retained at Master season after season, and he got an average of around 26 2-car levels out of testing CCPs, and he was doing well, retaining every season. That's not the level you would want to promote to Elite, but a good level to retain Master.
I remember the first time I promoted to Elite. That was in a group with Flo, and I took Bridge Rocks, which is a very nice tire to promote from Master to Elite. But at that time I had, I think, between 15 and 20 per category because I just wasn't testing at all because I was just trying to promote and didn't invest in anything because I needed the money for good driver and tires. And then I even struggled with Bridge Rocks that season a bit. I crashed in I accidentally set 0 CT and crashed out in the second race. And it was not a good start for us. At that time, they were 7 million, so it was not as expensive as nowadays. But but I think I felt like nobody wanted to promote, and then I somehow finished second, and then I was happy to just relegate from Elite and rebuild a bit, and then I got a bit more character points every time I promoted back up.
That you did pretty often. I still remember not the last promotion to Elite, but the previous one, the one before your championships. I remember Roland asking you if you were going to stay for supper this time. Are you going to stay for supper this time, Jan?
For what? Supper?
For
So
supper.
supper. Yes, supper.
Yeah, we're a bit famous for always going down.
Yeah, I think
Immediately.
I had to take some jokes at that time.
Yeah.
Now it's a bit more common to do that strategy, and now I'm a bit rid of that image. But at that time, yeah, I also had some jokes within the team.
You gain some fame, some reputation.
Yeah, I think my nickname in the team was Elite Relegator.
Elite Relegator. They are meme.
And then I got the name Janoop here. Not sure if that is any better, but
Well, but that's self-inflicted, you know. You chose that nickname and you typed it.
yeah, well, I did not invent it, but I took it from the community. I think actually back in the days I was called Jane because of the E next to my name in the chat. When I wrote on GPro, and then when I was in master, I was called Janoop instead of Jane, and I think this is how that nickname evolved.
Well, I used to call Jan Pavlicek Janoop. So it's a known nickname for me.
Yeah.
He was already on the road to winning his championships, and I called him Janoop. As a matter of fact, I had an alter ego picture in the team profile that pointed to him with a finger, and
I'm
he
with
said, and it said noob.
noobs.
I'm with the noob. It said the alter picture. I'm with the noob, and it pointed to Jan that was in the last slot of the team profile. You know. So
Can you convince Roland to make a second picture that is called "I'm not a robot"?
I'm not a robot. That would be nice, but
That captcha thing.
he sticks to the wig pictures I make for him. You know, he's got a Photoshop wig on the on the profile picture.
So Rimantas, we were talking before the season a little bit, no? And we were, assuring that we both will be pushed. But what was your decision to pick Hancocks?
Well, honestly, I haven't committed to pushing until race 3. At the start of the season, I didn't have an intention to just push for a title. I thought that Hancocks will be the best tire for me this season to track characteristics and probably do it to what I saw last season, how hard it was for Bridge Rocks. So I thought that I will pick Hancocks and then see what's the competition level around and see how it goes. And then after the first 3 races, I just didn't have any other choice but just keep pushing. Although I knew it will be close to impossible to win, unless I had no technical problems all season, no start crashes, etc. But as it appeared, I had one technical random, which costed me, I think, 10 points at least. Because
which race?
That was the race where you won, and I finished 8th. It was
Brazil? No.
It was race 7.
Ah.
I had a technical pit. But yeah, in the end, it didn't matter because you have a lot bigger advantage than that, so it doesn't make any change. But yeah, so at the start, I knew it would be pretty impossible to win on Hancocks, but I wanted to try my pace on these tires and evaluate the competition around the light. Because last season, I think I would have done it on Hancocks. no disrespect to Deda, but I think that wasn't the best season I saw in a light.
Yeah, it was.
Don't we all think that?
I mean, race 1 was pretty clear that it was a perfect Hancock race, so I wasn't surprised that you won. But race 2, which had a different track characteristic, you also won. It wasn't that cold. I mean, it was not really hot, but it was. So, and then you won race 3 again, which was an A track again. And I thought, what am I doing wrong that I cannot catch you?
I had a really good car match for the first 4 races. It was really good, so I just utilized that. Yes, I had great qualify laps that allowed me to start at the front and just use
you even won races on a 4 extra soft stop strategy, no? I mean,
yes, yeah. I was lucky in some laps with getting avoid the blocking.
Yeah.
You basically did the opposite of Joachim, who wanted to push on Hancock's, and then he discovered that he's not at the pace, and he was very frustrated to see your performance, and then he gave up pushing on Hancock's. But we were quite surprised and couldn't really explain your pace because your driver overall and car level were all very similar, and you were a lot faster. And I think Joachim probably thought the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly was a bit surprised myself. I expected to be strong, as I said. My car had a real good match, but yeah, before season I thought maybe if I close to you and Pablo after a few races, I will keep pushing. But sure, I didn't expect to have an advantage of like 30 points after 3 races against you.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit unfortunate. I think Pablo had a technical in the second race also, and then the start crash. So I think it would have been really close if he did not have that. I think the second cost him like 8 points or 7, and the second one.
He also made his own mistakes.
Yeah. He one race he forgot to spar, or what was he ran out of?
Forgot to forgot to spar.
That is brutal.
That would be
That's
really...
the cost of doing qualis late, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Dede was always joking the first 3 races whether I forgot to spar, but I did not forget.
Rimantas had his fair share of mistakes too. I remember one particular race that was very painful to watch.
Bremgarten?
Yeah.
Where he was on the opposite tires to the weather all race long.
I had no chance to score in that race anyway, so I don't really care. But yeah, that was a mistake on my side. Long time ago, I haven't used the strategy of picking grains in dry conditions. So my thinking was that when the rain comes, I started on rain tires and dry track, and when the rain comes, it should last pretty long or not stop at all. So I will pick rain tires when it's dry, and in a hope that if the rain stops, I will keep running. But it appeared that when the rain stops, I picked the dry tires because I expected that. Sorry, I forgot how it was.
It was complicated.
It was very complicated.
You did everything the other way around. You know, you had to be on wets during the wet, and you were on dry.
Yeah, I started on dry tires when it was raining at the start. Yeah, now I remember. And it should have stopped raining pretty soon. It stopped at lap 7, so a bit later than I expected. And then I stopped for picking rain tires in the dry because I thought that later in the race it will start raining and might stop again. So I would not stop the second time ever changes. But I totally forgot that it will change after few laps, and I will have to change the tires. I assumed that if I started on the right tire, I will keep them, but forgot how this engine works.
I remember that race because I had a match. I had like the worst car ever for Garden, and I was always around Rimantas, and I was really confused what was going on.
Actually, I was close to not reaching 90% of the race, and the rain in the last 2 laps saved me because I was on rain tires and everyone pitted. And I stayed in the track and managed to get my money.
You have a fan, Alas.
I like dumplings as well.
You got a fan that says that he loves you. I think that's Jean Ho. But I'm not completely sure. Who's that? Identify yourself, please. What are your plans for next season, Agas?
My plans?
Yes. Do you have fuel left for some push?
My plans is to watch Yuke's pace compared to Joachim on Bridge Rocks and see where I was this season if I pick Bridge Rocks. Because I think I would have the same pace. Actually, Yuke's driver is pretty much a copy of mine, and our car levels are similar. So it will be interesting to see if Yuke decides to push. Although I think he will.
And what about you?
And about myself, I'll try to recover from the season because it costed a lot of money. I have sponsors, but I will also have to regain aggressiveness of my driver and hopefully push in season after again, but this time properly on proper tires.
Not on cheap tires.
No. But the Hancocks are good. I love them this season. Set a few records, started from poles, super tire.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have the quali record in Melbourne in this track. I of course set it on Hancocks. So I understand what you mean.
I think tires probably need a bit of tweaking. I think Hancocks is a bit
overpowered.
Yeah,
I agree. And the share of Hancocks in the light is too big.
I would be. I mean, the last 2 seasons I expected changes, but they didn't come, and now I'm expecting changes again. So I'm not sure, but
maybe one less dry, one less dry.
Yes,
character.
Yes, rain. Sorry, it's raining again, right?
It's raining again. Well, there was someone asking where we think that was going to start raining again, and here you are.
That could have been a very ugly race if it stayed dry for me. I would be running out of energy like 20 laps before the end.
I don't even know what strategy I'm on.
No, but I have low CT in the wet, but very high CT in the dry, and if it stays dry for too long, I will just run out.
The real question is, what driver training did you do?
No, it's not a question. I mean, I'm looking for next season, so...
yeah, I mean, what specific?
Regaining aggressivity is always, after championship push, you need to regain aggressivity.
Yeah.
I mean, I started pretty high, so... yeah.
Oh,
So Jan, Yuke is pushing next season, right?
I'm not even sure if he knows himself.
What about Jan? Are you pushing next season?
I'm not saying anything.
He's playing.
But my driver is still young, like Joachim's. It's also only 30, so he's got time.
Yeah, he might. I mean, you have 5 sponsors on the car, Jan, huh? That's really...
Yes, that's the point. You
But
you
I
will
think
also.
They were all
struggle
under
with,
attack.
I think he would struggle with energy usage if he pushed next season.
I mean, yeah. I mean, in our team, we are thinking season 82 is yours. Yeah.
It's not raining, Joachim.
Not.
No.
No.
What you noticed was
Oh,
smoke.
sorry. I
was
was.
So you so badly wanted the rain, but you
Yeah, I wanted, and then I kind of restarted the race. I restarted the race, and it started from lap 1 again. Okay, that can be. Yeah, hopefully it rains soon. I mean, come on. Yeah. It's not raining.
Come on, rain! No.
Yeah.
Stay dry.
And we had a couple of wet forecasts, which turned out to be very dry races this season. Oh.
So this could be one of the driest seasons after all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, last race it was
So
a
this
bit,
season
a
we
bit
had
too dry too. Last race had a lot of forecast, and it turned out to be a bit dry too.
Yeah, so this season we had 51 wet laps plus this race. Not sure where it puts us, where it puts this season. What was the driest season?
Ah, Pablo got me.
Oh. Oh. Go, Pablo. Well, we have a battle this race for the Team Cup. So I really hope that Pablo does as good as he can.
I really hope he will get the
Are you
tire
pushing
puncture.
for this point of the cup?
I'm pushing as much as I can in my circumstances.
Are you expecting some smoke or not?
I wouldn't be too surprised if it came, but no, I don't expect smoke.
Okay.
So did Pablo pit?
So still no rain?
Oh man, yeah. Whatever.
Well, how much gap does Joachim have?
What I mean, gap.
Points gap?
No, I mean in the race. Like, how's the race standing right now? Because I'm watching the StreamYard. Can you open the top right corner again?
We were wheel to wheel with Pablo.
Which tab? I'm sorry, didn't get it.
Yeah, that's
this
the
one.
Standings in the race. Yeah, the race standings. So.
Oh, the race, because you said standings, and I understood that you wanted to see the season standings.
So Pablo was just behind Joachim.
Mm.
He pitted.
I think this season you might actually retain with 0 points. Maybe now you can show the season standings, so to see if anyone is retaining this race. I don't really looks like it.
Looks like it's
last
possible.
Season, I think last season 10 tennis Lake.
Robin will be relegating, so yeah, someone has a chance of 0 points.
Oh, Joachim is pitting.
Yeah, tires are gone. No, one of the strong guys, Pedro, has a chance to retain on 0 points.
Yes.
Not? Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Wasn't some of the guys retiring?
Yeah, but that was Hugo.
Not
Hugo.
Not Pedro. Hugo Reis?
I think all people from negative are going back into positive. Yeah, that looks. Hugo and Pedro probably not.
Robin will relegate as well if he manages to stay away of 90%.
Actually, when I finished third in my first push race, I thought that it might not be enough, the 6 points, but now I regret spending 30 million for that second push race. Feels a bit unnecessary right now, but last season, I mean, even Robert in second place came quite close to relegating. 6 points wasn't, well, I think Tennis Lake relegated with 6 points.
Yeah,
Which
some
I think never
season is
happened
tricky.
before.
Some season it is tricky indeed.
Elite has become so expensive. I remember back when before my championship seasons, everything was so easy. You could have taken Yokos and just do good results. And now I feel like I need a ton of sponsor money to break even financially. I feel like it's become a lot harder with all those fast tires and fast drivers. I mean, there are a lot of. I mean, my
Too
driver
many
is like,
premiums.
yeah, a lot of premiums and also a lot of strong drivers. I remember when like 10 seasons ago, there weren't that many good. If you trained a driver like for 1 or 2 seasons, then you had really the edge. But now I think I have 212 overall, and I'm just somewhere in the middle.
Well, that started changing slowly when we got the driver energy feature. I remember lasting over a driver I wanted to sign, hoping that person relegated, and with the changes that were introduced, that person was able to retain. and I had no prospect driver to sign to stay at elite. I ended up relegating a few seasons after because of not having a proper driver. But I noticed that this driver change plus the PHA a little bit later changed the game completely.
But I mean, driver energy was introduced, I think, like mid 50s season.
Yes,
It's very long.
it was the
Yeah,
last
55 or so.
The
So
last
that
season I
was.
was at
I remember
55.
the first race ever was Singapore with energy, and Singapore has really good consumption. And nobody knew what was going to happen. And I think most elites just put 100 CT and were dying like half of the race.
That's
I
true.
did
I
push
remember that
100
race.
16, it was a disaster.
And I think Justinas had a driver that was doing really well with energy. He
Yes.
was really lucky, and nobody really knew what stats you need to do well. And I think he came champion even. Or a second, he did really well promoting also. And I think everyone was fuming the first races that elites could not go 100 CT. But I think now everyone has been used to it. Same with PHA. I think first everyone is moaning and then everyone likes it.
Well, changes are always hard to adapt to. And we as humans are reluctant to change, but we end up adapting no matter what.
But
I
guess
remember
we would all like to see sponsor changes. Sponsor system changes.
What do you propose for a change?
I propose nothing. I mean, there are a lot of ways to make it differently. I don't know which is the best, but I think current system benefits too much for ones who are at the front and pushing, earning lots of money from race money, and at the same time getting the best sponsors without too much competition. I think that's not fair, and it's really hard for the midfielders and the back of the fielders to get them into that circle of the elite sponsors. It's
Okay,
not
yeah, I
that
think
hard. It's not that hard in lower groups, but in Elite it's super hard.
basically it forces people to develop a super strong package if they want to have a chance. So because either it's an upwards or a downward spiral, and I've seen that the last 2 seasons where I did OBP, and I mean I had a lot of sponsors that I could just activate, but if I just saw what I got, it was really desperate to get like maybe 1 million sponsor a season, and you have like a ton of expenditures. I think it's really, if you don't have that backup to get on the good side, then you're never gonna make it, and then you have to first develop completely in master or amateur. So
Yeah, I think the current system benefits the ones who drop to master and come back to Elite.
yeah, I think
that,
now
you can get pretty good sponsors.
I feel like it's a bit imbalanced now, because I felt that before coming from Masters already quite nice, because in Master you can nowadays with a solid package very easily promote with Yokos and get sponsor deals and accumulate a lot of money. While in Elite it's super hard right now, and then you also get a big promo sponsor on top. And now I really feel that if I think about going back to Master, I can probably store in 2 seasons 100 million, promote with 100 million, 140 million, and while in Elite I would probably make losses, so that like 3 seasons giving me a 150 million benefit. So I think it's a bit imbalanced now. I didn't really saw it necessary to implement the promo sponsors, but at that time many people didn't want it to promote for some reason, so they
It
implemented
still happens. If you check season after season the master standings, there are seasons that there are 3, 4, 5 people pushing, and there are seasons that you have 1 or 2 people pushing for promotion and you have other people who are not pushing. For example, let me check my group is an example. We have the guy in third, who is Valdas Rusejas. He's got 44 points. And he complained at the forums that he didn't want to promote. I don't know if he's going to promote, because Apostolis Luxus has 2 points less than him, and he has chances to. But he said no, I'm sorry, it wasn't Valdas, it was William Day, the one who was complaining about not wanting to promote.
But he can handcuffs.
He's on handcuffs, but he doesn't want to promote. Yes.
So, yeah, what was his intention? It's either promotion or relegation to Pro then.
Then we have, for example, Master 1. Mary Lizarrague was for many races in the top 3, and she recently lost the position and is now 4th, but took David De Lorenzini several races to overtake her in the standings. He wasn't scoring. Maybe he saw the chance to promote and decided to start pushing some races, but he wasn't scoring regularly before that. Mary, of course, made clear that she had no intention to go back to Elite this season. That's Master 1. So my point is, every season we have this I don't want to promote situation in at least one of the groups.
Yeah, one of my teammates, Gustavo Bolota, he promoted to Elite, I think 2 seasons ago, but he didn't want to do it. There was just simply no competition in his group, and look, he's doing quite fine in Elite. So yeah, I can just say to people to encourage people to try yourself in the light. If you don't like it, you relegate, and you'll be even stronger. I'm actually surprised that so many new managers who doesn't have a light experience avoids the light, even without trying and feeling how it is to be in the light.
Well, I think that it depends on how experienced the team they are at is, because if they have teammates that are already experienced and know of the struggles of elite, they warn them and they decide to build a better and stronger pack before promoting to elite for the first time. I was so excited to promote the first time that I didn't care how my pack looked.
Yeah, me too. And it didn't took long before I got relegated to master, but at least I felt how it is. I saw how far I need to go in order to catch it.
Oh, I remember I was very surprised to see I retained for several seasons. That first time I was at elite, I retained for 7 or 8 seasons. And I was very surprised because I, of course, was very unprepared, but it seems like there's always someone more unprepared than yourself. So I retained for some seasons. But I remember my CCPs that were around 38 or so, which was, of course, not enough. I had like 38 CCPs from each character. And we were talking about guys like Leandro, Toigan, and Rimantas himself having way more than that.
I mean, regarding sponsors, we had the change that you lose your promo sponsor if you relegate back to the tire from which you got the promo sponsor. I think that is already a good change to discourage this hoarding of promo sponsors by going up and down. And we have now that the timer on the sponsors, how long you can keep and hoard them. So I think there are some steps have been taken to chip away a bit on the advantages of those who are at the front and can close any sponsorship battle.
Yeah, this is better than it was a few seasons ago, but still you can sign this promo sponsor for the last race for the relegation.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
And you can still get all this money to your package. Come to a light with all this money.
I think this was a good change though, because I mean you could basically store almost infinite money if you think about it. So if you're coming from amateur, then you have to pay 25% tax every season, and even if you have like 250 million, that doesn't actually leave that much if you calculate it. If you say like you have 2 pro seasons, 2 master season, and 2 build-up seasons in elite, which is quite fast, then I think this leaves like 90 million or so. But I mean, promo sponsor, you could store if you just take your time and store 8, 9 promo sponsors worth 60 million and have 500 million. Never losing cash.
Well,
It's like
that's what we call the
2 billion.
that's what we call the Janub strategy.
Yeah, but I think Flo, you wrote, I think you said that maybe at this point of time we have more than 40 managers playing this game who are competitive in elite.
Sure. I mean, there's a reason why I am never talked about this with administrators, but I'm assuming I have the theory that they don't want to reduce the master groups because of that. Because with the current number of players we have in the site nowadays, a different pyramid would be more suitable. But reducing the master groups would take very good managers from master to pro, and that would be not fair. I understand. I don't know if you guys agree.
I don't know, but I think, I mean, there was these Pippi seasons where we had 10 or 12 or 13 guys on Pippi, and now we have Hancock seasons. I mean, there will always be, I mean, Elite, to retain in Elite, to survive in Elite should be a struggle. I mean, that's the purpose of the game, I think. And so we have to, something has to be very hard. I mean, otherwise it's not worth playing it. Huh?
The top tier has to be held, sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So
But
maybe it would be an idea to. I feel like you have a very big advantage coming from Elite if you prepare to relegate, because I mean 50 million is nice money. You can test all the time. I mean, you can basically just evade the tax by storing sponsors, by testing all the time, and relegating with a good car. So having 50 million, but basically you can just put everything else in your package. And then I think the biggest advantage is that you can train a driver and you don't have to survive with it. I mean, if you go for a close to 160 overall driver in master, then it's very expensive, or the driver is not very good. And if you go 140 or 145, train it for one season, then you have to survive a full season with that inferior driver, which is very expensive. But in Elite, you can just do your Pippi season and he's perfectly ready at the end of the season. It's cheap and it's probably stronger than the strongest drivers that are out on the market for 1.5, 2 million. And if you then test all the time, have 50 million star sponsors, then it's just super easy. I remember the first time I came to Master from the other side, from Pro, I struggled more on bridge drops than on Yoke. Every Yoko season was easier than a bridge drop season, the first.
Yeah, I agree that there's a big advantage. Oh, now that you mentioned this, maybe, just maybe, there should be some sort of cap for championship bonus offers when the driver or the TD are with master away limits, within the master away limits, because you also end up having that advantage. You go to the market for a driver and you can offer a 30 million bonus for the Elite Championship when you're relegating, and I don't think that's fair.
Yeah, I think that would theoretically need some tweaking. Otherwise, I mean, you can see that those coming down from Elite always are 2 seasons later, usually the ones fighting from promotion again.
If you just remember, go on.
If you do it planned, if you do it not planned, I mean, then you can really take your time to recover.
Yeah, I mean, this is the difference. If you, this is also what maybe the system is not good, because those who surrender right away arrive super strong in Master, and if you fight to the very end and then you get like 26, 27s, I remember that it happened to Robin, it happened to Carlos, who got a random in the last race, and they don't have money, they don't have a driver, that car is not aligned for the next season, which is also a big advantage, because you can just test all season in a way it's perfect for the beginning of the next season. You don't have to care about your current pace if you relegate. And this is also something that's made me struggle when I tried back to back. That my car was not aligned, and Roland tested perfectly all season those priors and was super fast, and I did not have a chance.
I just remember that for next season we are going to have a small change.
Oh yes.
That might mean that starting from pole won't always be an advantage.
I don't know what that would be based on. If the inner side of the track and the outer side of the track will always have the same effect, and if in all cases the first one goes outside or inside, I have no idea how that works in real life. I mean,
I don't care. I lose positions all the time anyway at the start.
that's because you don't push to the front, Jan. You should push to the front more often.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or
Especially
maintain
in
my
the
position like
championship
Pablo.
Especially during championship pushes when we have other shaggers pushing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't quite understand that change. I mean, it's a nice change, but it's kind of nothing. I mean, it has no impact on your planning because you cannot really.
Exactly.
That's why I don't like it so much,
I
because
don't like it as well.
It's just
it's another
element.
random factor, you know.
Exactly.
It's another thing you cannot
gain,
control.
like gain in the quali lap is not random enough.
So everyone is qualifying 18:29 just to get the perfect gain. Yeah, I think this is the changes that happened recently were not really solving the real issues. They were like just to change something. It felt to me. I mean, tires would need to tweak next season. I expect Hancocks, or maybe I not expect, but they may be back to 5.6 million or so.
What do you expect, that
Hancocks
they
or
lose a
Mitches?
dry bar?
What?
What do you expect, that they lose a dry performance bar?
No, that they got more expensive maybe again to like 5.6 million like they were a few seasons ago.
And then everyone will go for Mitches.
I'm not sure if
like
5.6
it
is
used to be
enough
at
for
one
that.
stage.
But I think that Mishi is actually an interesting choice because you are a bit more. I mean, you have more durability. If you are going for championship and have a very strong package, you don't have struggle with warm up. I think bridge rocks are really ugly in qualifying against all this Hancock army. While Mishis are a lot closer, but also have more durability and are not that temperature dependent. So with a good package, they are okay. I think nobody's taking them right now, but that doesn't mean that they're bad necessarily.
I don't think that Mishis are very desirable compared to Hancocks. You pay a lot more, and
What price are they right now?
7.1.
I don't know how much they are.
6.9.
6.9. That's a lot.
Rain, Rimantas. Yeah, finally.
Really?
It's too late for me anyway, but.
What lap it is? 44. I think it's about time.
Lap 44, huh? Oh, this is 3:37.
Oh, there were lots of guys wobbling in my race, and now they are going to have fresh tires. Boo!
No, I put that one lap early.
I need those team points. I need those team points to beat Rimantas.
I think you don't, because you are pretty dominating the light with Pablo, Roland, and the light.
The cup or the overall standings of teams?
For the cup. It's 1-1 now.
Being a Nuvolari, I never pay attention to team standings.
Well, but that will eventually change. You guys lined up nicely with the last changes you made, and you'll eventually contest for the championship, I think.
Yeah, but primarily we went to one team because we're always blocking each other, which hasn't really changed since then. Because last race, you cost me 3 DMs for forgetting to let me pass. He asked me if we are still friends in the chat, and I said no.
Meow.
So I'm doing 2 consecutive pit stops.
Nice. That's unlucky.
Lack of luck, I would say.
Joachim, will you stick to your driver after next season and try to lower that reputation?
I don't know yet. I mean, my focus is on next season, and what happens after that, I don't know. I'll have him till race 4, I guess, in season 82, and yeah, I don't know what happens then. I mean, I could extend once again this season, but I'm not sure yet. I mean, the salary would be pretty high, but still reasonable for that guy. Yeah.
Well, good elite drivers do not grow on trees, so you might not be as lucky as you were the last time you signed that driver. By the way, did you guys notice the account that held that driver disappear from the game?
What
EA!
is it?
EA!
Bless you. What do you mean disappeared?
EA!
What?
The guy that was that had that driver previous to you disappeared from the game.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a suspicious account, but yeah, I mean there are lots of suspicious accounts actually. I think.
If they don't appear in the streaming, they are DAs.
Special request. Whatever that means. I mean, 2.4 million is probably still okay.
Yeah.
For a third season, so I think I had more expensive drivers. So treble push. Treble push. Back to back.
No. I thought about it, but
there's a Jupiter Legend achievement that everybody is. This is cursed.
And I think especially in these sponsor stacking times, it's extremely hard to achieve.
Yeah, I think Roland failed against Jasper, then I failed against Roland, and Jörg failed or didn't even try. Maybe he could have had a chance, but he let Dede go for it. But I think in the energy era, PHA and energy era, it's very, very hard.
Yeah, I can't see it. I mean, I can only see it if you have a buy season with no competition, because you have to spend so much on your car in a championship push, and that yeah.
You need to destroy your account. You mean, guys? Is it account destroying? There will be a time where the only retainer in Elite will be Roland. Meow. Meow. Whose cat is
Yes, that's
that?
my cat.
She's demanding attention.
Seeking attention, exactly.
Mine is on my lap. I cannot move.
Do you have an overview how the cup final is currently standing?
No, I have no idea. I can show you how
I mean, you can.
I think
Shivers
it's
are
one way.
doing.
You can show your team, and Agas can check his team, and then we can quickly.
You guys do the math.
I can share my screen then and show mine.
Let's check. So the first 5 guys are elite, and the other 5 guys are master, right?
Yes. No, we have a pro manager, Mika. Mika
Okay.
Pekarinen.
So 10th, 5th, 4th, first.
Yeah, but we
and
have guys in the
25th.
pits right now.
Yeah, it's probably not the best moment to
No,
calculate.
maybe
We are
in one or
doing
two
much-
laps we
are
have
doing much
a better.
Flo. You will lose it.
You're doing much better.
You're all doing much better.
I don't believe you.
Those it's a bit stressed managing all those accounts.
Yes, it was revealed yesterday that I manage all Jaguar accounts. Yes, so
That
Yeah.
I believe.
I have all the balls in the air, and struggle. It's very stressful, but it is worth it.
Okay, I'm out of energy.
You're out of
Finally.
energy.
Finally.
Lap? Which lap is it? 48. Okay.
I don't care
Goodbye.
anymore.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Joachim.
More points for Jaguars, damn it.
Yeah.
We will still win.
What position am I currently? I'm not following the race on my.
I'm opening the race positions.
I'm 18th. So I wasn't expecting that. But last race, everyone is probably screwed a bit. Yeah.
So far, only 4 guys are smoking so far in Elite.
Strange, I'd say, for
Yeah,
being race
strange.
17. But it's not a very good idea to smoke when you're paying for premium tires either.
It's best if you get a tire puncture. And you don't need to pay for the supplier. In case you are smoking out and do not finish anyway. So, what do you think? It will stop raining at lap 57?
Yeah.
Daphne. My cat is pulling from the mouse cable.
I think stop 56 would be perfect, as I'm waiting 1 lap.
Same as last race. Well, the 2 races that happened this season, I happened to wait 1 lap.
Yeah, 2 times.
Both of them, and I got some points because of that. So I wouldn't complain about it.
I always have that the wrong way around. So whatever I put, the rain will do the opposite. next season Avons. I think Dunos are too expensive.
I haven't done my season plan yet, but I read the discussions the elite managers were having about needing to buy like 8 engines. They were
What?
pissed that
8
needing
engines?
to buy 8 engines for the season, which is
Yeah.
outrageous. But well, good thing I'm relegating.
I think finances are quite low in Elite. I think next season maybe there will be a fewer amount of premium tires. I mean,
I
Klaas
thought-
Blitzer, who didn't do a single race, is still third in money. So maybe this is an
Yes.
alternative strategy.
I'm actually surprised he kept a sponsor. He's
Yeah.
not racing. That shouldn't happen. Driver and
Okay.
sponsor.
I mean, fifth is 37 million. It's not that much. But I mean, it has been worse. I remember I've seen 15, 16 people negative in the last race.
We had
61 million. Wow.
season 79. We already had a lot of Hancocks, and
Yes.
I was expecting in season 80 we were all expecting that we see a lot of pippies, but
And
then
that didn't happen.
That didn't happen. No.
Well, we
Well, we'll
have
see.
our official team owner who's Wouter, and he was saying, "Oh, I will pick premiums. Everyone else will pick premiums too." He called it on season 79, and then on season 80, when he decided what tire he was going to pick, he yet again said the same. I'm going to put on premiums, and everyone's going to put on premiums.
Would still like a PP cartel for next season. I mean, I'm always trying to start it, but in the
Pablo-
past, no.
Pablo got
had
a tire blowout.
A tire blow, yeah, a tire puncture.
Oh my God! Why? We need the team points. How unlucky is that? This wasn't his season at all.
No, I hope that Agas get one too.
My God.
But it's not a race ending, so don't worry. He was to
Oh, okay, not race ending.
No, not race ending. I think Flo Roland will win in Elite, so that's good for you.
Well, we'll see.
this race.
This
We
race.
can, yeah.
Pablo pushing again?
Could it be 1, 2, 3 for Jaguars?
No. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I don't think I will fall that far behind. I still hope I'll be on the podium. Yeah. Actually, the energy thing is pretty amazing. I mean, I think nobody has really solved it. Has someone?
Well, I have heard that the Force One guys and Brute Force guys have a very accurate energy calculator.
I heard that they don't. We think they have, but they don't.
I mean, we have a terrible.
That's what they say.
Mm.
It's the word on the street, you know.
Let me say it like that. Whoever says he can calculate it is lying because it's not possible. But yeah, I think it's pretty entertainment feature because of that
Yeah, it is.
unpredictability.
My cats need to get out, guys. I'm going to leave for a minute.
No problem.
Don't miss me.
I ran out of energy in 7 races this season.
I didn't calculate, but I think only one race was where I unexpectedly ran out.
And you
Others were
did or
more
you
or
didn't?
less. I did run out unexpectedly, but our races, I did run out in the last laps, but it's more or less expected. So, yeah. But it's an interesting feature for sure.
I think the difference between drivers is a bit high when it comes to energy. I think that makes the gap between drivers even bigger because those who are already fast also can handle higher risks, and
True.
this increases the gap. Because now I think it's pretty hard if you try to train a driver for master, then it's already slow and also you're struggling with energy. So that's
Yeah,
why I
it's
went for Avus, so I could train a weak driver, which I wouldn't have retained otherwise. Because when I signed him, he had like 75 aggro and 200 experience, and against this quality in elite, it's almost impossible to retain without one big push.
So Flo, is your cat all right?
Yes, but it's raining, so I didn't let her out. I was going to let her out because she was meowing, and when I saw the rain, I decided against it.
Mm.
So they are trapped with me, both cats.
Let's check
Oh,
who's winning max top 10. So Juk disappointed everyone. Roland second. Joachim third.
I am third in max top 10.
Yeah, I mean in the quotes. So you were the
Achso.
person that people thought you're the third most likely.
I think people usually go for a person who won a recent champion. So no surprise, Yug is first.
Nobody voted Data.
Thought it was a mistake.
Well, 6. Still a bit too high, but
Seren, it'd be shame if Seren relegates Team Master 2. Didn't know that Leandro was in a relegated position. That's lazy. That's lazy. I think that Leandro has lost his motivation to compete in the higher leagues.
Or maybe he didn't adapt to changes.
Maybe, but it could be
Because I
because
see a lot of people struggling in this NCR, so I'm not sure if it's whole team lacking motivation or we are not just putting effort into finding out the new system.
I mean, a lot of things have changed since those times. I'm not sure. I mean, you were someone who was very successful in some time back. Also, so if you would have time travel like 40 seasons in the future, do you think that knowledge keeps you competitive from the early days?
It's hard to tell, but I would more say that no. I think it's now a completely different game than it was 40 seasons ago.
I've been around for...
Now you have a lot more strategy options. We didn't have Naira PHA matching energy. Tire suppliers were more straight to pick, and I think even when we had this drivers, very experienced drivers, which were unbeatable.
How strong were the strongest drivers overall wise in those days? I mean, you had super TDs, but there are also like super drivers with 300 plus experience.
Yeah, it was 400 plus experience I had once.
So the rate
later on it was capped. Now it's impossible to reach these levels, and I think now it's you don't even get speed from experience of 250. But back in the days, it was you were getting faster with more experience. You can imagine comparing 400 experience to 200 experience.
Joachim, when you promoted on Bridge Rocks and stayed in Elite, did you have a lot of sponsor storage? Because I would imagine it's very difficult to sustain the expenditures from your Bridge Rock season and then the build up in Elite. I feel like they would be really hard to do if I tried that.
Yeah, no, I brought a lot of sponsors with me, and I didn't use that much in my Bridge Rock promo season. Let me check that for a second.
So you can also share your sponsor size as screen sharing.
No.
Because
yeah, but I had over 300 million sponsors book value when I came to Elite.
How much do you have now?
Nice try.
500. No. I mean the Bridge Rock season was kind of crazy, but I could afford it, and I didn't. I had just too much money actually, and
Do you regret that Bridge Rock season and
No.
would have no?
No, not at all. I mean, I got the standing tall achievement in Master. That was pretty cool. I got 3 guys in G-Pro got it.
I screwed the Elite one on Baku with the 4th place. That was painful, but at least it didn't happen in the last race.
Yeah,
Big Roland. It happened once to Roland.
Yeah. No, I don't think this season did cost me much. I mean, yeah, in terms of progress.
But I think it's quite surprising because I would thought that it was a good package. You could quite easily promote on Jokos, which were like 6.5 million cheaper, and you would just have that money on top because the results doesn't vary much.
Yeah, but then I would have promoted to Elite with 200 million instead of 100 million, and what would I have done with that money there? Huh?
Not activating sponsors.
Yeah, okay, that is the one thing. Yeah. But I had so many
picking premiums the first season at Elite instead of Yokos.
Yeah,
that's
actually,
another possibility.
I don't know. It might work pretty well. 4th place. Ah, what a shame.
At least my teammate won. But it doesn't matter because we're nowhere in any team competition. So you probably did like 250 and
oh
have
my
like
God,
50 million left.
Puncture.
What?
One more
I got a puncture, a race-ending one.
Nah. That is
lap 56.
That's harsh.
No.
I hate the world.
Which position you were in?
I was 10th. I just wanted some team points, you know.
Now you'll definitely lose.
No, and that also messes with my balance. I didn't want to have too much negative balance and now
So you are
I'll be
relegating?
poorer.
Are you relegating so?
Yes, I'm relegating, but I didn't want to relegate with 10 millions negative balance. I wanted to be as close to zero as possible. Now I don't know if I'm going to make 90%. I assume I will, but
So you will go back to amateur?
I'll go back to amateur, yes.
But still, congrats on your team cup. Well, the overall team cup. Jaguar, despite some bad luck.
Yeah.
I don't know
Congratulations.
how things are.
I mean, you have like 150 points over Tiger Racing. This is pretty impressive.
Yes, that for sure is nice, but we wanted the cap too,
Sorry,
and
next
we got
time.
a puncture. We might still get some nice points, but I don't know. I really don't know how the guys at Tiger are doing. So we'll see. We wait for the
I
post-race
can tell
update.
we have 1, 2, 3, 4 people lower than 30.
Okay, so it looks that my puncture won't matter much then.
No, it won't.
Oh, we have. It looks like Jasper is commenting here that Alessandro is winning the lead race for the first time. So congratulations to Alessandro for his first elite win.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Why I got a puncture?
Yeah.
No.
I thought you had a VIP status.
Where did I end? 30 seconds. No team points for me. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, and it looks like that Pedro will retain with 0 points.
Why did I even push?
Yeah.
Those 30 million still hurt them. Yeah. All point scorers already have points, so looks like Pedro will retain. Disappear. How did the races go on the other groups? For example, Master 1. Oh, my fellow countryman Nico was on pole. How did he end 17th? Oh, my teammate Chance won the race. That's nice. What about the standings? The standings, I said.
Rimantas, what tires are you going to take next season?
Dunlops, of course. You showed they are pretty good. What about you? Hancocks?
Not sure. I'm waiting for the prizes.
Actually, I have not decided yet. I have two options, and we'll have a look. Of course, we'll take a look if there are any changes, because that's important. It's mainly two options. So how many bridge rocks? How many bridge rocks do you have?
How many bridges?
Yeah, you, Jug. Who else? Roland?
Roland, I don't know whether he has to activate sponsors. So that's the same like last season. You were expecting him to push. His driver is ready, but with only 2 sponsors, it's not.
I think he really emptied it when he pushed 4 seasons in a row.
Yep, I'm afraid that he's still not ready for a push.
Yeah, now I think he's ready if Flo says that.
What?
No, I think that he is pushing because Flo denied it.
But I control the account.
Opposite psychology.
Reverse psychology. No.
But how much money does he have right now? It's 32 million is quite low to start, I think. I mean, car level, let me check. Car level is like 10.2, 10.3. It's good, but also not really serious. I think Joachim and Pablo probably are 10, 16, 10, 8, something like that. Joachim, you will have like probably 65 million at the reset, something like that.
I expect to start next season with 67 million, yeah. That is after team money, qualifying bonus, and all that stuff, points money. I mean, Juk has 50 million more than I have, so I think that's quite a sizable advantage, but I get a bigger standing bonus, and he pays some taxes, so
and then you get more points money.
Yeah, but he will still have 25 million more at the start of the season.
Was a bit unlucky with a tire puncture that kicked him out of 90% with 1 lap to go, so lost 15 million there.
Oh, by the way, guys, did you know why I won this championship? I employed the Jaguar strategy of missing races in preparation. In
preparation for the championship push. Yes.
Really? You missed the deadline, or was it on purpose?
No, yeah, you might sure. It was a special secret championship preparation miss. No, it was just unlucky. Yeah, I mean, it's not worth to tell the story, but it turned out it was not that bad because I could actually save something from the wear and could recover. But
so now you have to. You're getting an offer from Jago pretty soon, I think.
Yeah.
I remember one post by Dede who said that everyone is on Pippi and the rest are Jagos not doing races.
Oh, Matthias missed a few races this season too. Well, hopefully we have him in full strength next season. I'm praying we do not need to recruit this season.
So Joachim is 1 spot above me in sponsor money. So I know what he has at least.
Yeah, feel free to share.
It's well, nothing unusual for a championship push. I would have been surprised if he was lower than me with his 5 sponsors.
I was actually surprised that you didn't lose any sponsors in the last 2 seasons, Jan. I mean, you had this 30 finishes. I don't know, 6 P30 finishes this season and 8 last season. Why didn't you lose sponsors?
Got to wrap up the right deals.
Oh.
Well, and there are some kind of sponsors who don't leave, but
Stupid sponsors.
well, actually,
Yeah,
I
that
thought
was-
that I might lose, but I have only 5 sponsors right now. Before that, I had usually 2 or 3 sponsors, and they were not that complaining.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, did Max actually promote? Looks like it. There was a
Is it good or
pending.
bad?
I think it's good because he pushed for it, so it's good news for Max, not so good news for Michele.
Flo, can you share what sponsor income Pablo has? Because then we can. Joachim is right in the middle, so we can closer that a bit.
The gap.
The range.
I could. I control all shower accounts, but I won't.
That's why sometimes some of them misses the race, right? It's hard to handle. Then
Yes. But Joachim, I have seen you do very late qualifyings, often like 18:25. What is your internet provider?
No, that has I do it in my office, and in my office I have a university internet, so very reliable, very fast. Yeah. No, I just have. I have in my calendar, in my office calendar, the last hour before the race. I have blocked important meeting. So I do it.
What are you doing for a living?
I am self-employed, and I have a kind of consultancy for consultancy for investment and business strategy.
Sounds
I
nice.
understand you're an accountant.
Yeah, no, I'm not an accountant. Brad says I'm an accountant, but that's not.
And
I think you are at least in G Pro.
For every minute you spend on G Pro, your company loses 1,000 euros.
No.
Where are you living in Germany, by the way?
In Bochum, Ruhrgebiet.
Okay, not that far from Bielefeld.
Are you living in Bielefeld? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a town like next to it. But I usually say Bielefeld. Usually, then there's always a joke that is being.
It's not it doesn't exist. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, I even told that to I don't know, I think even Jasper knew that. He told me that joke, and that Bielefeld doesn't exist. And at this point, I've just accepted that everybody brings that up.
Yeah.
So Joachim and me are probably like 150 kilometers apart, approximately.
A little less, maybe even. Yeah, Brad says he's an accountant. I worked as an accountant, but then I changed into investment management, and now I'm a kind of jack of all trades.
So investment stock market, like Wolf of Wall Street.
No, not stock market. Ethical investment. There is such a thing in fact. No, I managed for 10 years. I managed the funds of a foundation in Germany. Jan, you have probably heard of GLS Bank. GLS Bank.
Yeah.
It's an ethical bank. Like Triodos and other ethical banks, and it has a foundation. And I managed the funds of this foundation, and there was the first aim was to invest socially responsible, and return on investment was only second, and that was really interesting, and yeah, very fulfilling to do. And we stayed away from the stock market, not totally, but if you are looking for socially responsible investments, you better look beyond the stock market. That is not yeah.
I wanted to
Sounds nice.
congratulate one of my mentees who promoted out of rookie. As he's saying hi in the chat. Hey there, Henry.
Hi, Henry. Way to go.
The other Svensson.
One
Because
down, 3 to go.
4 more
So
steps.
next season they will meet.
Not next season.
The season, and now then Flo will go to amateur, and her mentee will go to pro, and they will miss. And
We will miss.
then Flo will be, then he will be Flo's mentor.
I look forward for that. To that. Why not?
I'm a bit disappointed when I look from my so the people who were my first contacts are basically all retired, which is a bit sad. Also, my mentor is retired, and I think
Who was your mentor?
I think Anton Babinski or so. He was a good amateur, a pro manager, like a mid-level pro manager. But I think my Hornet team is like 80% retired right now.
Yeah, I got one of my mentees recently retired. He was at pro, he reached pro, he retained pro, and he lost motivation and retired. Then I have other more recent mentees that are already at AMA. A couple that were at rookie this season and are promoting. One of them was earlier on the chat, who is Juan Sebastián. But I tend to agree with Jan. Most of the mentees end up retiring, and it's very demoralizing, you know. My husband is asking me how long are we going to stay here. So I think that we should finish the streaming here.
Yeah, I think we can wrap it up.
The race is over. I think that Joachim is not going to tell how much sponsorship money he has, so we don't need to see.
Millions.
I think that it's more than a couple.
Yeah,
A few couples.
a few millions.
A few couples. Okay, it's still single digits. I mean.
Yeah, well, I don't remember for how long it's been since we had an elite manager coming to digits. I don't know if you, in his last run, got to 2 digits. Maybe he did. I've seen Roland in cashing in 2 digits at some point, but not in the recent seasons.
Yeah, during my championship winning seasons, I was also near 12 million.
Wow.
But that's far away right now.
What did you say? In your championship seasons?
I had around 12 million sponsorship.
Well, those were
it wasn't
different.
that much more than our competitors. So I think
when you did that interview with I forget his name. You had you had an interview with him alone for like an hour or two.
Kotov, Maxim Kotov?
Yeah, Maxim Kotov, exactly. Yeah,
he showed us a monster sponsor, huh?
Yeah, he had a screenshot. I think he had also 11.5.
I remember
that.
Maxim Kotov, another 2 times champion. Well, guys, now that Jan is back, I'm going to properly say goodbye and finish the streaming here. Yes, real life is calling.
Yeah, so thanks for the invitation. It was lots of fun.
Thank you very much.
I'm very glad that you enjoyed the streaming. I was afraid that it was overwhelming for some of you, but Joachim is already a seasoned streamer, but I don't know about Agas. Happy that you enjoyed the streaming, the experience.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Well, I you some other time then.
Yeah, sure, why not? The next season, then I'm champion.
Why not? Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Random free season for everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Long week ahead.